Success doesn't come from luck or magic. It comes from following consistent principles and making conscious decisions every single day. And Tony Robbins has spent decades teaching people how to do just that. According to him, the first rule of success is clarity. Clarity is power, he says, and without knowing what you want, you'll never get there. You must define what a successful life means to you, because success is different for everyone. For some, it's wealth. For others, peace, love, or contribution. Once you're clear, the second rule is to raise your standards. Robbins often says, "The only thing that changes your life is when you raise your standards." You have to decide what you will no longer tolerate in your life and what you're committed to becoming. Rule 3 is to take massive and consistent action. Dreaming without action is just wishing. Tony teaches that never leave the scene of a decision without taking action. Even if it's small, doing something immediately puts your decision into motion and builds momentum. The fourth rule is to manage your state. Your emotional state controls how you think, how you feel, and how you act. Success requires energy, focus, and confidence, and you can generate those by mastering your emotions. Robbins says, "Emotion is created by motion," which means your body posture, breathing, and movement influence your feelings. The fifth rule is to change your limiting beliefs. Many people are held back not by reality, but by the stories they tell themselves. Tony says, "The only thing keeping you from getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't have it." Replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones creates a new identity. Rule 6 is to feed your mind and body daily. Read, learn, listen to uplifting content, and also take care of your health. He believes energy is the edge in life. Without it, even the greatest plans fail. Rule 7 is to model those who have succeeded. Robbins teaches the concept of modeling. Success leaves clues. If someone else has achieved what you want, study them, learn their strategies, and apply them. The eighth rule is contribution. Real fulfillment doesn't come from taking, it comes from giving. The secret to living is giving, Tony often says. Whether it's your time, love, skills, or resources, giving creates purpose and joy. Rule 9 is to master your time. Robbins says, "You can't manage time, but you can manage your attention." Prioritize what truly matters, eliminate distractions, and use your time to create value and growth. The final and 10th rule is to create rituals that shape your life. Robbins emphasizes the power of rituals because your rituals determine your results. Whether it's a morning routine, journaling, he teaches that success is not about resources, it's about resourcefulness. What matters is not what you have, but what you do with what you have. He reminds us that every human being has two invisible forces shaping them, pain and pleasure. Learning to use them instead of being used by them is the key to lasting change. Tony Robbins believes that anyone can change their life in a moment, not because the world changes, but because their mindset does. He encourages people to ask better questions because questions are the answer. When you ask, "Why is this happening to me?" your brain looks for blame. But when you ask, "How can I grow from this?" your brain finds power. A successful life is not free from problems, it's built on growth. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure, Robbins teaches. That's why all success must align with your values, with what truly matters to you. He also stresses the importance of identity. How you see yourself shapes your decisions. If you see yourself as a leader, you act like one. If you see yourself as broken, you stay stuck. Change your identity and your life follows. He says, "The strongest force in the human personality is the need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves." So, define yourself wisely. Keep promises to yourself. Build confidence not by achieving everything perfectly, but by showing up for yourself again and again. One of his most empowering ideas is that change can happen in an instant. It doesn't have to take years to become the person you want to be. It takes one decision, one shift in meaning, one moment of courage. Tony Robbins is not just about hype. His strategies are based on psychology, neuro-linguistic programming, and decades of working with millions of people, including world leaders and athletes. He teaches that the past does not equal the future unless you live there. No matter where you are today, your future is created by what you do now, not what happened before. Progress equals happiness. Even if you're not where you want to be, if you're growing, learning, and becoming more, you feel alive. That's what a successful life really is. It's not about achieving everything, it's about becoming more every day and helping others do the same. These 10 rules are not just advice, they are tools. If you live them daily, you can not only build a successful life, you can build a meaningful one. Every human being has the power to change their life, but that change begins with belief. The belief that you are more than your past, more than your fears, and more than your current circumstances. And Tony Robbins reminds us that your biography is not your destiny. You are not your history. You are the choices you make today, right now. He says, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped, and this truth has helped millions take back control of their lives. Most people live in reaction, letting life happen to them. But Robbins teaches us to live by design, to create life rather than wait for it to improve on its own. He believes that success is 80% psychology and 20% mechanics, meaning that mindset is more important than any skill or tool. If you change your mind, your whole world can change. And this is why he constantly says, where focus goes, energy flows. If you focus on fear, you'll feel fear. If you focus on solutions, your mind becomes a tool for progress. A successful life begins with controlling what things mean to you. Two people can go through the same situation. One breaks, the other grows. What makes the difference? It's the meaning they give to the experience. Robbins teaches that nothing in life has any meaning except the meaning you give it. You can either see failure as the end or as a beginning. You can either see pain as punishment or as preparation. It's always your choice. And this choice of meaning creates your emotions, and emotions shape your actions. That's why success is emotional mastery. He often says the quality of your life is the quality of your emotions, and those emotions can be trained just like muscles. If you practice gratitude, joy, courage, and focus every day, they become your default state. He tells us that if you want a different result, you must break your pattern. Most people are stuck, not because they don't know what to do, but because they repeat the same thoughts, feelings, and actions every day. Breaking that pattern through movement, questions, new language, and new meaning can set you free. Robbins teaches that repetition is the mother of skill, so anything you want to master must become part of your daily rituals. Don't rely on motivation. Build habits. Rituals are stronger than moods. When you create a morning routine of focus, energy, gratitude, and goals, you set the tone for success. He also says, people are rewarded in public for what they practice in private. The invisible work you do, when no one is watching, is what prepares you for the visible wins. He pushes people to go beyond fear, because fear is a liar and most fears are not real. They are just mental images or false stories. The only way to break fear is to face it with courage and take action anyway. He says, courage is not the absence of fear, it's the decision that something else is more important. When your dreams become bigger than your doubts, you move forward with strength. Robbins also reminds us that life happens for you, not to you. This shift in mindset turns every problem into a possibility. Challenges become invitations to grow, not reasons to quit. Even in pain, there's a gift. Even in failure, there's feedback. He teaches that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. No one achieves anything great without falling, learning, and rising again. What separates the successful is not talent, but hunger. Robbins says, stay hungry, stay foolish. And it's this hunger that keeps people growing even when things are hard. You must turn your shoulds into musts. Don't say I should get healthy, say I must. Don't say I should start a business, say I must. That one change in language can change your commitment level completely. He also stresses the power of purpose. If you have a strong enough why, you can deal with almost any how. Purpose is fuel for the soul. It gives your life direction and gives your struggles meaning. People who live with purpose don't just survive, they inspire. Robbins teaches contribution as a lifestyle. Only those who have learned the power of sincere and selfless contribution experience life's deepest joy, true fulfillment. If you want to feel alive, give, lift others, share your gifts. Use your life to make a difference. That is real success. In the end, Robbins says, life is a gift, and you can either live it complaining or creating. You can live as a victim or a warrior. And every day, you get to choose which version of yourself will show up. Stop waiting for confidence, build it. Stop waiting for permission, give it to yourself. Don't ask, can I do this? Ask, how can I do this? Life responds to those who take bold, consistent action. Progress is the heartbeat of happiness. Even if you're not where you want to be, as long as you're growing, your spirit will feel alive. So make a decision today. Raise your standards. Master your emotions. Focus on what matters. Give more. Move more. Love more. And never forget, your life can change in a moment. The moment you decide it must. True success begins when you realize that your life is your message to the world, and every moment is a chance to rewrite your future. Tony Robbins says, change is never a matter of ability. It's always a matter of motivation. And that motivation doesn't come from outside. It comes from vision, hunger, and purpose. You have to build a life that pulls you forward instead of constantly pushing yourself with stress. He teaches that people are not lazy. They simply have impotent goals. That is, goals that do not inspire them. If your goals are small, your energy will be small. If your dreams are vague, your effort will be scattered. But when your goal becomes meaningful, when it reflects your true desires and deepest values, you tap into a power far beyond willpower. That's why he says, purpose fuels persistence. A successful life is not the absence of pain, but the presence of meaning. Robbins reminds us that pain is a signal, not a sentence. It's a message calling you to grow, to rise, to transform. He often tells the story that success without purpose leads to emptiness. Many people reach financial success and still feel unfulfilled because they ignored their inner world. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure, he says. That's why the foundation of a successful life must begin inside. Your heart, your identity, your values. When those align with your actions, you feel powerful, peaceful, and unstoppable. Tony Robbins also emphasizes that nothing changes until you do. The world doesn't need to get easier. You need to get stronger. He says, don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. This mindset is what separates champions from complainers. Every person faces challenges. Every person gets rejected, hurt, disappointed, misunderstood. But the ones who grow, who rise, are those who choose to find power inside their pain. He teaches that the past is not equal to the future unless you choose to live there. You must cut the rope that ties you to your old identity. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are the meaning maker of your life. You can choose a new story, a new path, a new outcome, starting now. Robbins says, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. So to change your life, you must change your patterns. Break the routine that keeps you stuck. Create a new rhythm, new thoughts, new language, new actions. He often reminds us that life is not happening to us, it's happening for us. Every struggle is a hidden gift. Every obstacle is an invitation to rise. If you embrace this idea fully, you stop resisting life and start dancing with it. You become a creator, not a victim. This is silent victory, where your pain turns into power and your silence becomes your greatest strength. Your story is not